We're back, everybody. It's time for Ben After Dark. I know. So much enthusiasm. Not forced at all because you're employees. This week, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, lovingly known as the Butcher of Tehran, was killed in a helicopter crash in Azerbaijan. As it turns out, if Muhammad would not go to the mountain would go to Muhammad. In a fitting end, Raisi was stoned to death by the entire planet Earth. Raisi must have spent his final moments thinking about the great work he'd done on behalf of his country, now isolated and impoverished. But the last thing to go through his mind, likely a helicopter blade. Can a faulty engine win a Nobel Peace Prize? Guys, he deserved it. Raisi spent his career signing the death warrants of dissidents and spreading terrorism throughout the Middle East and beyond. In the late 1980s, he presided over the kangaroo court of the Ayatollahs, spending 5 minutes per case, convicting tens of thousands of supposed rebels without cause or merit. He then rose through the ranks to become Iran's president, where he funded the murder of Americans and Israelis and fellow Muslims. A king of crimes against humanity, his election win in 2021 was widely considered rigged and led to numerous protests and deadlocked negotiations with countries including the United States. I mean, at least Darth Vader was a good project manager. But as always, the media decided that Raisi was a mixed bag. That's an actual headline from the BBC. Thankfully, at this point, Raisi is a mixed bag of nuts, bolts, and bones. The Iranian government, for its part, blamed American sanctions for Raisi's death. They said he was forced to fly in an American-made 1968 helicopter with bad replacement parts, which shows two things. First, awesome job, sanctions. Second, Iran's government is filled with clowns. They've spent decades failing to develop a technology, the nuclear bomb, that was first developed when Joe Biden was 3 years old. It's funny to think that he's wearing diapers in both of these pictures. Hell, even North Korea has been able to develop a bomb, and that country is led by a family filled with fat men and little boys. The international community, which is basically just addicts and murderers with crack houses disguised as buildings in New York, Brussels, and The Hague, mourned the loss of Iran's president. The United Nations, comprised largely of corrupt dictatorships we have to pretend aren't shitholes, lowered its stupid blue flag to half-staff. I haven't seen the international community this upset since that time the Jews still existed. Speaking of which, this time, in an attempt to fix that problem of the Jews existing, the World War II Nazi-neutral states of Ireland, Spain, and Norway all declared that they now recognize a phantom state of Palestine. It is apparently located east of Ithilien and south of Ered Lithwi, approximately where the shadows lie. This magical unicorn state of Palestine has no government, no borders, and no citizenry. It does, however, have a mascot. Declaring a state of Palestine is like Michael Scott declaring bankruptcy. It has zero meaning. The fake state of Palestine has no government. The Palestinian Authority is a terrorist entity that has not had an election in 20 years, barely has power in the West Bank, and has no power in the Gaza Strip. Hamas is a terrorist group that perpetrated October 7th and is now too busy stealing aid and getting its ass kicked by the IDF to actually run anything. It has no borders. The Palestinians have famously rejected every single peace offer ever made by Israel, since the only borders they want are from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. And they have no citizenry. According to the same countries declaring a state of Palestine, Palestinians are all refugees, and Israel should let all of them in to destroy the state of Israel. All this is funny since literally no Muslim country, including the 70% Palestinian state of Jordan, will let any Palestinians in. The United States ought to ask Egypt for advice on how to build a border wall to stop the Palestinians from getting in. But what's funniest of all is the widespread Western belief that a Palestinian state will be anything other than an evil terror dungeon. For some odd reason, Western leftists think the Palestinian state will look like this, rather than like this. Here's the reality. These 3 European countries just rewarded Hamas for the mass murder of Jews. Hamas knows it, which is why they thanked Ireland, Norway, and Spain. 0 of those countries recognized a Palestinian state on October 6th. They're recognizing one now because they believe that the Jews deserve to be murdered, their children burned, and kidnapped, their women raped. That's literally the only thing that changed between October 6th and now. They are simply rewarding the Palestinians for October 7th. Those countries missed their opportunity to join the Nazis outright 80 years ago, so apparently they're not going to miss their chance today. We'll get to more on this in just 1 second. First, my days are obviously incredibly full. I've got the show, I've got the company, I'm a dad, I got a lot going on, and I start to run down really quickly if I don't get a good night's sleep. That is why I appreciate and rely heavily on my Helix mattress. Helix harnesses years of mattress expertise to offer that truly elevated sleep experience. The Helix Elite Collection includes 6 different mattress models, each tailored for specific sleep positions and firmness preferences. If you're nervous about buying a mattress online, you don't have to be. Helix has a sleep quiz that matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress, because why would you buy a mattress made for somebody else? I took that Helix quiz. I was matched with a firm but breathable mattress. I love it. My wife loves it. We are big Helix fans at the Shapiro house. In fact, whenever we have people stay over at the house and they're sleeping on that Helix sleep mattress, they always ask where they can get one just like it. And then they go home and buy a Helix sleep. Helix has a 10-year warranty. You can try it out for 100 nights, risk-free. They'll pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will. They've got financing options and flexible payment plans as well. Helix is offering up to 30% off all mattress orders plus 2 free pillows for my listeners. Just head on over to helixsleep.com/Ben. It's their best offer yet. It's not going to last long. helixsleep.com/Ben with Helix. Better sleep starts right now. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's flailing campaign hit the trail this week as Slow Joe made a play to recapture the black vote. Apparently, his last argument didn't work all that well.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
He went to Morehouse College, where he proceeded to say that America was racist, that black men in America are victimized by the cops, and that's why you should vote for an 80-year-old dementia-addled white man who once suggested that all black people are poor.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
It didn't go over amazing. It turns out black voters aren't all fans of pandering from a discombobulated mental patient. At least Biden was asked to speak at Morehouse. At this point, powder is blacker than Kamala Harris. Things got worse when Biden spoke before the NAACP. There, he got into a full-out brawl with his teleprompter. Things were so bad that the White House transcript included 9 corrections. Biden made more mistakes than P. Diddy at an album release party. But that wasn't Biden's worst gaffe fest of the week. Here was Joe Biden explaining his support for something or other.
After I signed the PAC Act into law.
Apparently, Joe Biden signed an Alpaca Act into law. Free alpacas for everyone. Joe Biden is in serious, serious trouble, which means it's time for him to play the orange Hitler card. Yes, Donald Trump is still in court. This trial is coming to a climax, which coincidentally is the title of Stormy Daniels' latest movie. But Trump is stuck running out surrogates to make his points for him, which has turned the trial into a weird episode of The Apprentice, Vice President's Edition. None of this hurts Trump, of course. This week in Trump's trial, Michael Cohen, the prosecution's key witness and a man as reliable as McDonald's ice cream machine, admitted to stealing $60,000 from the Trump organization. How shocking. I haven't been this surprised by something since I found out Andrew Cuomo was kind of a sex creep. Who saw that coming? He seemed so chill. But recognizing the trial isn't hurting Trump, the Biden campaign and the media shifted gears this week to suggest that Trump is, wait for it, orange Hitler. That's an uphill case to make, given that half the Democratic Party now supports actual honest-to-God Nazis in the Gaza Strip. But they'll make it anyway, based on Trump posting on social media a video that contained in small writing a reference to a united Reich.
What happens after Donald Trump wins? What's next for America?
Did you catch the offense? Here it is close up. And believe it or not, when you zoom in even closer, here's what you see. See, he loves the Nazis. Now, listen, obviously this was a dumb mistake by Trump. Also, the Democratic Party is literally split over whether to save Hamas. The idea that Donald Trump is like the true threat to the Jews, not Joe Biden, who is literally denying ammunition to Israel in wartime, is totally insane. The Democratic Party's last deputy national security advisor under Barack Obama, Ben Rhodes, was literally nicknamed in the White House Hamas. That was his literal nickname. Imagine being nicknamed Al-Qaeda. That's a thing that actually happened. Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib are well-respected Democrats. The Democrats may not love Hitler, but many of them seem like they'd be perfectly fine with the other guy in this particular photo. That'd be Haj Amin al-Husseini, the leader of the Palestinian nationalist movement. It is perfectly on brand for the same party that said Trump was a Russian asset and a white supremacist. Good luck with this particular argument. Get to more on this in just a moment. First, are you or somebody you know fighting the battle against cancer? For the last 25 years, Invita medical centers have been pioneering personalized, cutting-edge treatment programs for patients all over the world. Invita has been the leader for patients looking for advanced immunotherapy and genetically targeted therapies, all while focusing on fewer side effects and better patient outcomes. As a global leader in oncology care, Invita is committed to healthcare freedom for everyone. They've spearheaded a revolution in employer healthcare options, empowering companies to provide their employees with access to not only top doctors, hospitals, and technologies, but also first-of-its-kind nationwide personalized medicine coverage. Invita is doing all of this, plus offering significant tax and cost savings, full transparency, and liberation from the grip of commercial insurance carriers. Whether you're a patient in need or a company looking to break free of monopolized healthcare insurance, Invita could have the solution for you. To learn more about their treatment options and their company insurance programs, visit Invita.com or visit EnvitaHealth.com to learn more about their company insurance programs. That's Invita, spelled ENVITA.com for treatment options, or InvitaHealth.com to learn more about their company insurance programs. Well, getting into some culture, it appears this week all the high rollers of Hollywood have congregated in Cannes, like locusts to the apocalypse, in the name of the infamous Cannes Film Festival. This is where celebrities party on yachts and then later are forced to pretend they don't know the billionaire who owns the yacht when they're arrested for tax fraud and lewd behavior with a minor. Also, sometimes they premiere and sell movies there or something. The big talk of the festival has been a movie called The Apprentice. a movie loosely based on the 1980s rise of Donald Trump as a real estate mogul well before he became a politician. The film includes a scene depicting Trump's alleged rape of his first wife, Ivana, and a surgery room where Trump gets liposuction. So probably this is a very unbiased script. Listen, if I wanted to watch fanfic about Donald Trump, I'd just watch Home Alone 2. But it should surprise no one that this film was a massive hit in Cannes, garnering an 8-minute standing ovation. By the way, every movie there gets like an 8, 10, 12-minute standing ovation. That's a lot of clapping. Like for 8 minutes. It also garnered rave reviews from critics, despite the fact that the director, Iranian-Danish filmmaker Ali Abbasi, told Vanity Fair before the premiere that his aim was to do a, quote, punk rock version of a historical movie and not, quote, get too anal about details and what's right and what's wrong. So if I'm getting this right, The Apprentice is as much about Donald Trump as like Kung Fu Panda is a documentary about pandas. I mean, a panda could be great at karate, who knows? And get anal about the details. Either way, we know The Apprentice will now be heralded as an Oscar contender no matter the quality or lack of honesty involved. Just so Hollywood can once again pat themselves on the back for liberal virtue signaling and fear-mongering, ignoring half the country. Well, at least it's still better than 2018 Academy Award winner for Best Picture, I to Fish. Last week, the company OpenAI unveiled a new interface used with ChatGPT, where users are given an AI assistant with an expressive and synthetic voice that just happened to sound almost exactly like Scarlett Johansson in the movie Her. It had that perfect mix of sexy Hollywood star and a woman with enough camel cash to get a kayak. She's like if a broken muffler tried ASMR. But then, just when people were getting accustomed to the raspy feature, it magically disappeared from the marketplace without a trace, like it was Ellen Page. Well, on Monday, Scarlett Johansson herself had something to say about it, releasing a statement revealing that she was the cause of the removal, and her lawyers want to know exactly how the AI voice was created. Johansson claims that OpenAI owner Sam Altman asked her last year to provide the company's new voice, and she said no. So imagine how shocked she was when she heard the voice and had to guess if it was her or Marge Simpson's sisters Patty and Selma. And although ChatGPT did halt the availability of the voice, they're standing by the claim it was not derivative of Scarlett Johansson, but it was actually a different professional actress using her own natural speaking voice. When they probed for that actress's name, they responded. It was some lady named Bartlett Bohanson. This is just one of many legal hurdles from creatives that ChatGPT has faced over the past year, including lawsuits from George R.R. Martin and the New York Times. To be fair to ChatGPT, it will certainly finish the next George R.R. Martin book before George R.R. Martin. But no matter which side of the AI debate you're on, we can all agree on one thing. Black Widow was hot garbage. Well, folks, that was Ben After Dark. We'll see you here next week, maybe.